So, brief introduction into Soul Reaver. This is the second game in the series. Silicon Knights never really intended for this to exist, but they did so anyway. Well, there was enough interest in it anyway, and this extends the story after the canon, the bad ending from Blood Omen that we did last. Now, what I wanted to do is I wanted to play this in the PC version, but I couldn't. The reason is I didn't own the new PC version. I had the old one. Namely, I don't have the PC version at all. I have the PlayStation version, my original one from 1990. I can't remember when this was released. The PC version is currently pulled off from Steam and from GOG. Why is it pulled off? Because the Square Enix, which is currently the publisher of this game, is pulled it off for some updates. I don't know what kind of updates are they having in mind, but because they are having updates, I can't play the PC version of this, so we're stuck playing the PlayStation version again through the emulator, which itself isn't a big deal. The game isn't any different on the PlayStation version than it is on PC. But hello Vic, the texture on the PlayStation version are a bit off. Well, off. It's because this is now trying to upscale it. So maybe that's what it. Somebody said that it might be that Enix is actually doing a remaster of Soul Reaver 1. I don't know. Whatever the reason for them pulling it off is, I can't get to it, so I can't play the PC version until Square Enix decides that the Soul Reaver can be sold again. So until then, I'm stuck with the PlayStation version again. I didn't want to do it this way, but I have no choice. So we're playing it from my old decrepit PlayStation 1. I turned it into an ISO format, so it shouldn't cause any issues, but we'll see. Anyway, this is the game. Again, there's plenty of story, there's plenty of lore. I will keep quiet while the cutscenes are playing and while Raziel is talking. By the way, Vic, this is the Fallen Angel one. And we're gonna start now, and following is one of the best cutscenes of the late 1990s and one of my personal favorite cutscenes ever.
Kain is deified. The clans tell tales of him. Few know the truth. He was mortal once, as were we all. However, his contempt for humanity drove him to create me and my brethren. I am Raziel, firstborn of his lieutenants. I stood with Kain and my brethren at the dawn of the Empire. I have served him a millennium. Over time, we became less human and more divine. Kain would enter the state of change and emerge with a new gift. Some years after the Master, our evolution would follow. Until I had the honor of surpassing my lord. For my transgression, I earned a new kind of reward. Agony. There was only one possible outcome. My eternal damnation. I, Raziel, was to suffer the fate of traitors and weaklings, to burn forever in the bowels of the Lake of the Dead.
Cast him in.
Tumbling, burning with white-hot fire, I plunged into the depths of the abyss. Unspeakable pain, relentless agony. Time ceased to exist. Only this torture and a deepening hatred of the hypocrisy that damned me to this hell. An eternity passed, and my torment receded, bringing me back from the precipice of madness. The descent had destroyed me, and yet I lived.
I know you, Raziel. You are worthy.
What madness is this? What pitiful form is this that I have come to inhabit? Death would be a release next to this travesty.
You did not survive the abyss, Raziel. I have only spared you from total dissolution.
I would choose oblivion over this existence.
The choice is not yours.
I am destroyed.
You are reborn. The birth of one of Kain's abominations traps the essence of life. It is this soul that animates the corpse you lived in. And that, Raziel, is the demise of Nosgoth. There is no balance. The souls of the dead remain trapped. I cannot spin them in the wheel of fate. They cannot complete their destinies. Redeem yourself. Or if you prefer, avenge yourself. Settle your dispute with Kain. Destroy him and your brethren. Free their souls and let the wheel of fate churn again. Use your hatred to reave their souls. I can make it possible. Become my Soul Reaver, my angel of death.
So, that was the intro. It's a bit of a long intro, but it's very effective. It also is magnificent. It has a magnificent soundtrack, which I hope was heard well. The voice acting is on point. The same voice actor from Blood Omen is again voicing Kain, and the only voice actor that can do Kain justice, and I still can't remember what his name is. I probably should have checked. So this is the PlayStation version, so there's a bit less in terms of polygons, but I don't think there's that much different from the PC version. I can't confirm because I never actually played the PC version. I always play the PlayStation version. But as far as I know, there are no differences. Yeah, so the spiral down below, down to the right, that's my health. Right now it's empty, but I'm also right now in the spectral world. So you can look around. For some reason, the analog is not working on my emulator for this. I don't know why. I hate it. So I have to use a D-pad. Oh, maybe... Oh, that's right. This was before the DualShock, so there is no analog support. Ah, yeah. This game was still made when there was no DualShock.
These gates twist space, laying a path across great spans.
So instead of bat form, we have teleporters. Right now we have nowhere to go, so leave that. One thing I'm going to... yeah, it does. One thing I'm going to note is there is no loading in this game. I mean, of course there is, but there is no visible loading. So this is one of the first games, especially on consoles, which uses the trick of using rooms as loading zones, meaning that loading happens in the background seamlessly.
You are weak. You must feed.
The old hunger has left me. I have no desire for blood.
You are changed. Your bloodthirst is replaced by a deeper need. You have become a devourer of souls. To sustain your strength, you must hunt the lost spirits of the underworld and consume the souls of your enemies.
I mean, look at the amount of detail on his face from just a few polygons. That's what high quality texture work does. This is PlayStation 1 era graphics. Okay, I'm full. So that loading sign after the cutscene, that's the only time you're gonna see loading in this game. Loading happens seamlessly while you're traversing rooms, which isn't a new thing today, but back then it was revolutionary, and as far as I know, this is the first game, at least on consoles, that was doing it.
Your wings, though ruined, are not without purpose. Take hold of them as you leap, and they will carry you across this chasm.
Despite this game not using analog, the movement is really precise.
What scabrous wretches are these?
Slua, the scavengers of the underworld. Their feral hunger has claimed countless souls, spirits who now shall never find their rest.
I mean, it's cool that the enemy runs away from you when they're weak, but they're kind of annoying to catch. Also, not being able to freely move the camera is kind of annoying. I mean, you can rotate it, but that's about it. And you have a first, well, it's kind of over the shoulder perspective when you want to look around.
These portals are your conduit between the spectral and material realms. With their aid, you may gather matter and will yourself to become manifest in the physical world. This is taxing, however. Your strength must first be fully restored. You require no conduit to return to this plane. You may abandon your physical body at any time.
Essentially, you can't really die in this game. Even if you die in the spectral realm, you're just gonna be returned to the sanctuary.
Sustain your strength to prolong your manifestation in the physical world. If you fail to feed or absorb too many wounds, this fragile matter will dissolve.
That's kind of correct. So your health constantly drains while you're in the physical realm until you get the Soul Reaver.
You are young yet, Raziel. You still retain many of your vampiric weaknesses. Immersion in water, while not fatal, will dissolve your physical body, forcing your return to the spirit world. Be aware that in the spectral realm, water has neither heft nor lift. It stands as thin as air.
What are these creatures?
Do you not recognize them? They are the children of your brother, Duma.
That's impossible. These foul, scuttling beasts could not be kin of our high blood.
Do you suppose that time stood still for you, Raziel? Much has changed since you passed from the world of men.
Oh yeah, the voice of the mentor. He is can't remember his name, but he's been in many games.
I knew my opponent's weaknesses, having suffered them myself. Physical wounds are fleeting. A vampire's immortal flesh begins to close as soon as it is cleaved. Vampires need only fear those wounds that impale or inflame. Water scorches like acid, and fledglings are devastated by sunlight's touch. I would have to modify my tactics to suit my foes.
Essentially, the enemy needs to be killed by specific means, otherwise they...
Unfettered from the flesh, a creature's soul fades swiftly into the spectral realm. Draw it in quickly, Raziel, or you will be compelled to follow.
So one cool thing is, if you don't absorb the soul in time, it will go to the spectral realm, and you can follow it there. But if you leave it there for too long, the enemy won't disappear, and that soul will turn into a wraith. And then you'll have to defeat a wraith. We impaled that one. Oof. Yeah, this is a thing. Sometimes when you press the triangle, it doesn't really consider it grabbed. Ah, no, I've thrown him the wrong way. I'm immune to it though. Okay, we got them. Look at the amount of detail. That's awesome. Remember, 1990s graphics. This is PlayStation 1. Okay, so I know I need to use this box. Where is the... there it is.
Your physical prowess surpasses what you knew in life. Even massive obstacles can be moved effortlessly.
And that's going to be used for puzzles. Look at the movement animations, they're so well done. How he catches his step when he's pulling it and pushing it, that's awesome. Can I? Yeah, I can.
My God! The sanctuary of the clans reduced to ruin. Beyond these walls lay the pillars of Nosgoth, the seat of Kain's empire. How humble it now appeared, collapsing into the dust of its former magnificence. And yet, I had only just emerged. In the instant between my execution and resurrection, centuries had apparently passed.
This world is wrecked with cataclysms. The Earth strains to shrug off the pestilence of Kain's parasitic empire. The fate of this world was preordained in an instant by a solitary man. Unwilling to martyr himself to restore Nosgoth's balance, Kain condemned the world to the decay you see. In that moment, the unraveling began. Now it is nearly played out. Nosgoth teeters on the brink of collapse. Its fragile balance cannot hold.
In later games, this is explained a bit further, but essentially when Kain refused the sacrifice, he turned the world into essentially doom. Oh, I missed. There should be a weapon here. Ah, there it is. Oh. Yeah. There we go. You can sneaky kill. It's not very often you can do that, nor is it necessary. I think there is there we go. That's the first of the teleporters. But whenever you load a game, you always start in the sanctuary and you just take the teleporter to the last and closest location you were at. I think there is one guy here. Yeah, there is. Ah, he heard me. Thank you.
This, at least, had remained constant. The endlessly swirling vortex of the abyss, my tomb, and the womb of my rebirth. Though much of Nosgoth's landscape had changed, these cliffs gave me my bearings. My clan territory was to the west. I was anxious to see how my descendants had fared during the centuries of my absence.
Okay, so there are several places in the game where you will outright be quote-unquote killed and returned to the sanctuary. This vortex is one of them. So if you fall into the abyss, yeah, there is no go to spectral, or I mean there is, but immediately back to the sanctuary. Hey, Aduma. And the music is awesome. Come on, guys. Come on. Come here. I know that the frame rate is a bit low, but that's because this is a PlayStation game. And emulation doesn't really do anything about that. We weren't really bothered by the frame rate back then. There is a collectible here. I can get that later. I don't have the necessary power for it.
Utter desolation. My once proud kin wiped from this world like excrement from a boot. I knew the hand that wrought this deed.
Oh, come on. In every area you can find things you can kill the enemies with. This is the teleporter to Raziel's clan. The Raziel symbol is that of a wolf, for some reason. Raziel never went to a wolf form. No, I don't know if he even had it. But his symbol is that of a wolf, and Kain's, at least in this game, is that of a bat. Can't go that way yet. Can't swim yet. Pick it up. Fine then. Give me this. Come here. Let me warm you up. Oh well, technically there is. You could say that because he was Kain's right-hand man, that he was the wolf, he was the attacker, he was the one who was leading Kain's armies. So yeah, also he's a lone wolf because his clan has been decimated. But it's nothing that really screams wolf from his personality, or you know, they could easily just selected any animal and it would be just as fine. I think this is a bridge, isn't it? You can pick up these rocks, by the way, and they will break if you break it against a vampire's head, but it will instantly stun them. Oh, am I going backwards? I think I am.